Right, so we're going to spend the next little while hearing some of the thoughts from the guys up here. I think specifically on markets last year and how it was to be a PM in that space. But I think more specifically on what the future holds and hopefully some of the high conviction ideas they're looking at the moment.
You think your job is picking a great company. That's the initial thing that you think, like, I should just buy great companies. And that's in our view first level thinking. Second level thinking is making great investments. And in some cases, making great investments is just buying great companies. So when the whole market collapses, for example, and there's massive risk around, when everything's cheap, you can actually just buy a portfolio of great companies. They'll do well even if things fall further, and they'll recover with the market on the way up. But it's actually much more important to differentiate between great investments and great companies. And if I look at our track record, we've certainly had some just great companies that were also great investments. Capitec's probably the best example of that, where we owned that for many years and did spectacularly well. But then if I think about two of our other great investments, was buying African Bank bonds when African Bank was literally bankrupt. So this is the definition of a non-great company that actually goes bankrupt. It was one of our greatest trades ever, buying those bonds at 60 or 70 cents in the dollar. In the end, we got all the interest, we got all the coupons, and I think literally 3 months ago, they paid us our final money that fully made those initial bonds whole. So that was actually a 7-8 year story that came to an end in November last year with the final bit of it. And then Alexander Forbes in a private equity deal, I think on that one we made 5 or 6 times money, and the company didn't grow its earnings in the entire 5 or 6 years that we owned it. So again, it was a reasonable average business, and we could make 5 times our money. So it shows you, in some cases they correlate, but it doesn't always mean you've got only the greatest companies to make great investments.
And Jacques, the one you left out there is Steinhoff. At the end of the day, when Steinhoff went, they had a locally listed preference share. And if you analyze the structure and you went back on the listing document, you realize that the preference share was issued in the South African holding company and not the top company where all the debt was. And again, you realize that the whole Pepkor stable was underneath that and underpinned that value of that preference share. So again, while everybody was running away from Steinhoff, we were busy buying up the preference shares at 20 or 30 cents in the rand. That currently trades at around 80, 82 at the moment. And again, it's a situation now where, specifically from someone else's disaster, we found an opportunity, did our work very quickly. Again, it took literally a few hours to get our understanding of exactly who had issued that bond and what level. And again, that's a story of a very poor company where we could make money. So I mean, it's about making a return, and it doesn't always have to be a great company. It just has to be a great opportunity.
I think it depends on the general market conditions that you're faced with. So, I mean, I think with the SA20 cricket going on, it's nice to make a cricket analogy. But if you're playing on a very easy, flat pitch and you're putting a batting team to go and play a T20, you can put in a couple of good batsmen and pretty much all of them will do fine. And that was probably the period from 2010 to pre-COVID. Interest rates were low. It was fairly easy to do well, even if you had an average batting lineup or share portfolio. We think that the next couple of years are taking this team to a very difficult subcontinent or Indian pitch where there's foot marks in the pitch and you're not sure what it's going to do. You really have to have the best batting lineup that you can think of, and a number of different batsmen that depending on what the conditions are on the day, they can perform. So that's how we're thinking about the portfolio at the moment, is just constructing a number of different ideas in the portfolio that, depending on the conditions that the year throws at us, should still be able to do well. I think that encompasses how we think about it versus the last 10 years.